This is your hottest, the latest, the most in-depth, the most exclusive, the most unapologetic source for WWE news, wrestling headlines, and breaking news in the world of WWE Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Remember to smash like hype, become a channel member to help save and secure the future of this very website. Welcome back to SeanzViewEnt Entertainment. And if you thought that the on-screen product was chaotic, what is happening behind closed doors right now is an absolute emergency. The road to WrestleMania 42 has completely fractured, and the backstage environment in WWE right now is being described by sources as a total powder keg. Now today, we are diving deep into a series of backstage reports, internal leaks, and creative disasters that have Triple H and the TKO board absolutely scrambling at this stage of the game. We have exclusive clarifications and rumors and gossip on the massive social media war erupting between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill on the road to WrestleMania, and why management's reaction to is shocking. It is shocking the locker room. Again, management's reaction to this whole thing, it is shocking. We are bringing down the unscripted, unprecedented, brutal unmasking of Dragon Lee by Gunther that was absolutely not in the script. We are setting the record straight on the viral rumors surrounding Powerhouse Hobbs or Royce Keys and his SmackDown status, and we are exposing the irresponsible aggression that has completely misled the WWE Universe. All that and much more here on SeanzViewEnt Entertainment. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, turn on all notifications. And we are opening up this video with a major bombshell. A bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, quite frankly, of epic proportions. Has Triple H, has the game officially stepped in? Well, is he stepping in or is he stepping out of a situation? We're talking about powder kegs here. We're talking about combustible units. We're talking about all these different elements. It's talking about Danhausen from his appearance, his debut at the Elimination Chamber, and then having a second appearance on Monday Night Raw. What is the reaction? How is he being received? We're going to get into all of that and give you the seed. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we start off with a situation that has gone from a creative disagreement to a full-blown internal mandate. According to multiple backstage reports, Danhausen could officially be pulled from all upcoming creative plans because, again, look up the reports, look it up online. The WWE was very conflicted. The WWE was not sure. The WWE was a rock and a hard place. They didn't know if they wanted to sign Danhausen. And then after the reaction that Danhausen got at the Elimination Chamber, and then the following night on Monday Night Raw, there are a lot of questions. There is a lot of conflict. There is a lot of back and forth going on. Look it up online. Google it. Yahoo it. Do whatever you're going to do. You can call me a clickbaiter, a liar, a masturbator. You can call me whatever you want. But at the end of the day, I'm giving you what I read, what I see, and what I hear online. Now, I told you we're going to open this video with a major bombshell, and that is exactly what we're going to do. Triple H stepping in, and Danhausen, will he be erased? Will he be erased from all upcoming WWE creative plans? Or is there going to be a change in character, a change in the tone, a change in the vision for one Danhausen in the WWE? Well, the internet and the internal feeling within WWE creative right now is that this is a massive frustration, because they had high hopes. The WWE thought that Danhausen was going to be this big popular thing. And although the rumor is he's moving a lot of merchandise, is he going to move the ticket sales? Is he going to move the ratings? Again, there's a lot of confliction here, okay, because they thought that Danhausen was going to be a big deal, but then there was also confliction on signing him. There was a lot of questions. There was a lot of debate backstage about Danhausen. Triple H is trying to build a highly structured, sports-centric road to WrestleMania. And when a talent goes rogue on social media and publicly threatens to quit, because again, look it up online, it is real. Whether it was an angle, a storyline, or a part of a twist, or just to get people talking, Danhausen did say, I quit. Okay, he did say it on social media before deleting it. It completely undercuts the authority of the booking committee. We are hearing that immediately after the tweet went live, an internal memo was calculated and circulated, and Danhausen could essentially be ghosted by creative. Now, that doesn't mean Danhausen is done, or he's leaving, or he's going to get released, or he's going to, well, he, in his words, quit. Because, again, you can understand the WWE may not seem like it, but they do listen to the audiences on occasion. They do, okay? But this isn't just punishment. This is an erasure. This is an erase job, ladies and gentlemen. When you are labeled a concept wrestler, you are already on thin ice with the current regime. By taking his grievances public, ladies and gentlemen, Danhausen has forced Triple H's hand. The TKO board does not tolerate public insubordination, and right now the word backstage is that there are 0 pitches being made for him. He is off the grid, off the board as of Monday Night Raw. However, this could just be a swerve to make us think that we're buying into this, okay? The question now is whether he will be granted his release or if WWE will freeze his contract to send a message to the rest of the locker room. And again, this isn't like this is a man-made WWE star. It's not like WWE put this guy on the map first. You know, this guy is coming over from AEW. And we all have seen what WWE has done for other stars that came from WCW and ECW and they came over to the WWE. We all saw what they did to them. But again, there's still a chance. There's still a chance that the WWE could do something masterful with Danhausen, that the WWE could switch up the script. But we have a lot more to get into, a lot more topics, so let's not waste any more of your valuable time. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, turn on all notifications, donate below with a super thanks donation. The drama with Danhausen pales in comparison to the absolute firestorm currently engulfing the women's division. Now, I know you're probably saying, oh, Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania doesn't seem like a match that would be a Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat for the ages, or a Bret Hart versus Owen Hart, or an Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. On paper, it doesn't look great. It doesn't look good. But I'll tell you what, the angle, the storyline, the drama is really intensifying, and it is very entertaining and compelling between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill on the road to WrestleMania. Because, ladies and gentlemen, over the last 48 hours, a massive social media war has absolutely erupted between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, and has officially broken the fourth wall. Rhea Ripley took to Instagram to post a scathing, now deleted story stating that she is, quote, not having fun, and explicitly stating that she is not friends with Jade Cargill, accusing her of defamation of character. In the era of kayfabe being dead, when a top star like Rhea Ripley posts something like that and then quickly deletes it, the locker room will indeed take notice. But here is the absolute bombshell to this story, because there is a twist. Remember to like, comment, subscribe today. While you could and you would think Triple H and the TKO board would be furious about a potential HR nightmare and a legitimate backstage fight between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, reports are indicating that the exact opposite is going down right now, ladies and gentlemen, because according to backstage sources, WWE management is, quote, happy with the buzz. Let that sink in, viewers. Let that sink into you. TKO executives are looking at the engagement numbers, okay? The trending hashtags and the sheer volume of articles being written about this real-life heat, and they see dollar signs. In a company that is completely corporate, calculated move, management is reportedly thrilled that this feud feels dangerous. They want the fans to question what is real and what is scripted. What is real and what is the fate of this entire feud, this entire scenario. So instead of disciplining Rhea Ripley or Jade Cargill, they are reportedly letting this play out, fully willing to risk a backstage altercation if it means that WrestleMania 42 buys go through the roof because of how volatile it is between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. Now, I want to know what side of you are on, a Jade Cargill or a Rhea Ripley, or as some call her, Rhea Hogan, because of all the pushes and because of all the nonstop championship matches, the opportunities that she gets day in and day out, night in and night out, week in and week out. Now, speaking of things getting blown out of proportion on social media, we need to address a massive story that has been completely misreported over the last 24 hours, and I am talking about the status of one superstar in particular. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, click the bell. If you were on X or Reddit, you saw the headline everywhere. WWE has no plans for Royce Keys, the former powerhouse Hobbs in AEW. Fans were in an uproar. People were screaming that Triple H had dropped the ball, that Keys was being buried, and that his main roster run was already dead on arrival. Let me set the record straight right now, because this is a classic case of what industry insiders call irresponsible aggression. Dirt sheets take a quote, strip away all the context, and slap a clickbait headline it. But we have the actual clarification that surfaced during the WrestleVotes live Q&A when asked specifically about the creative plans for Keys. The direct word-for-word quote was this. Look down at, I'm going to look down. All right, there was a little botch and blooper right here, live on SeanzViewEnt Entertainment. There's your entertainment again. Anything can expect the unexpected. Anything can happen on a given episode. The lights can go off. I can get attacked. I can go nuts. I can go wild. You just never know what's going to happen on any edition of SeanzView. But here we go. I'm looking at my phone, and I'm gonna read this next part for you. Legal document. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We had speculated for months that the SmackDown had plans for him. It certainly does seem like that he's going to be home. SmackDown is going to be the home of Royce Keys. He had backstage. He was backstage Friday night. Don't know when he's showing up on TV. Hopefully they have an idea. Hopefully this is part of the plan. Do you hear the difference, viewers? The report wasn't that WWE hates him or that they refuse to book him. The report is that the debut is being kept strictly under wraps. And right now, the sources have nothing to report because, again, we saw him appear at the Royal Rumble. Despite being a secret, being kept a secret is not the same thing as being abandoned. Keys was physically backstage at SmackDown on Friday. You do not fly a talent into a television tapings if you have no plans for them. They are keeping him hidden until the exact right moment to strike. Viewers, fans, and subscribers. And then we have to talk about the elephant in the room. It has to be addressed. It has to be brought up. Because a WWE star is now officially being pitched as a general manager. Again, a WWE star as an official general manager. A pitch has been made for a WWE star to be the official general manager, having done an off-the-charts job so far. Since their departure, since the departure of Ava in January of this year, Robert Stone has served as the interim general manager of NXT TV. While with Kurt Angle sending a message of support to Robert Stone, another WWE Hall of Famer has thrown his weight behind the interim authority figure. Speaking on Busted Open, Bully Ray shared his beliefs that Stone should be the general manager. During an interview with Stone, Bully Ray told him, I don't even think you should be the interim general manager anymore. I think you should be the general manager. I think in just a short period of time, you have done an off-the-charts job of proving why this position really belongs to you. Now, during the interview, Stone would reveal that he only discovered that he was going to be interim NXT general manager during the televised segment with the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Also, former champion believes WWE star will win us over. AEW name partnering with other promotions. I had no clue before a WWE star found out about their new role on TV and Drew McIntyre's new WWE WrestleMania 42 opponents, because it would appear as if this Friday night on SmackDown, and plans can change, card is always subject to change. I want to let you know that right now and right here, but it would appear as if that Drew McIntyre will drop, that Drew McIntyre will lose the WWE Championship, and Cody Rhodes will be crowned the brand new WWE Champion. And at WrestleMania, it will be Randy Orton one-on-one with Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. Now, there's been all this back and forth rumor and talk and innuendo about it being a multi-man match. Will it be a one-on-one? Will it turn into a triple threat? Will it be a fatal four-way? Will it be a five-way? What predicament will we get? What will we be seeing? What will we be getting? What do you want to see? Do you want to see Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE title instead of Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE title? We have been, as fans, we have been asking for years. We have been asking for the last couple of years, if not 3 or 4 years. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, WrestleMania. We've wanted it. Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem with that, and I want to see it. I want to get it. Who's the heel and who's the bad guy? And here's the other thing. The WWE already gave this away at the King of the Ring a couple years ago, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, as a dud. Because we all know the King of the Ring doesn't have the kind of significance it did back in 93, 94, 97, 98, 99. We know the King of the Ring does not hold that kind of significance anymore. Hell, even 2002, when Brock Lesnar won the King of the Ring, it still held significance then, but it does not hold that kind of significance now. So now what I want is your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions. Do you want to see Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania? And what about Drew McIntyre? And what about Jacob Fatu? How do they all factor into this? And what about Demolition finally taking their rightful place into the WWE Hall of Fame? Finally, it's going to happen. Finally, it's going to go down. Your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, and your emotions on the hottest, the latest, the greatest, the newest, the most definitive, and the most divine. If it weren't for you, there would be no Sean View. Let's prove it to the viewers, the fans, and the subscribers. Oh, and Gabe Spicoli defends Danhausen's WWE signing amid mixed reactions. Again, very mixed reactions. Oh, and this is just coming out now. Again, this is why we do multiple videos a day. Logan Paul threatens to sue anyone calling him a scammer after the CryptoZoo case. And John Laurinaitis, people power, brags about beating John Cena during the WWE Authority era. Also, Cody Rhodes says that WWE needs more jacked up bodybuilder dudes in the company. Also, there's a claim being made that CM Punk's Roman Reigns' father line from Raw forced after WWE Raw segment. Your thoughts, your comments, your opinions on all of that. If it weren't for you, there would be no Sean View. We're going to brew up a hell of a lot more news and rumors throughout this day, every day, around the clock. I will never stop. Subscribe.